Yeah, welcome in, welcome back to another episode
Chicken
of
Philly is
What
back.
is that?
Who's got the
That's
sauce?
that's my computer. Bad, y'all.
We see what you was doing. Chicken Philly, that boy wants a Philly.
Off, man, right? What's going on, y'all? Welcome in, welcome back to another episode of Format Podcast Live. And this is the Wednesday night episode. I was like, what is that? Oh,
you want a chicken Philly? Chicken Philly. Come on down. Wait, what?
No chicken Philly. Oh, man. Well, we're here Wednesday night. Y'all appreciate everybody who's here with us. What's going on, Transformer?
Man, nothing, bro. Got me hungry over here wanting the chicken Philly now.
Zaxby's, right? Oh, man. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. We got some good topics tonight. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. But since we're getting started late, little public service announcement, we're gonna keep the show rolling tonight. All right. We're gonna take calls, but we're gonna keep all calls to a maximum of 5 minutes in order to keep the show rolling. All right. So 5 minutes or less. You can call in and give us your thoughts in between topics. All right. So that's how we're going to do it tonight. And I am going to do my best not to get distracted and going crazy with the topics, because y'all know how I can get sometimes. All right.
Yeah.
But,
so, quick question. Who's the GOAT? Who's
Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali. Why? Yes. Why can't it be LeBron?
Because we don't have enough time to discuss that.
Okay, good. You're good. Okay, good. You're doing good.
All
You're
right, guys. All
Keep
right.
Keep it up.
So let's go ahead and I'm gonna do my little spiel, and then we'll get back right to you and get it started with the quick hits. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. I was listening to, can't remember which podcast I was listening to this morning, and this kind of made me think about this topic, right? So
yeah.
We were talking about Joe Burrow and basically how this is almost like a golden age of quarterbacks, right? And we often look at, that 1983 draft class as the best quarterback class ever with, Dan Marino and all those guys in it, right? And that was a crazy draft class. But anyway, so they were talking about, some of the all-time great quarterbacks and whatnot. And of course, Aaron Rodgers came up. And most people see him as one of the all-time great quarterbacks, and well, he absolutely is, right?
Yeah, I'm about to say he should be.
Yeah, he is. So the 4 MVPs, top 10 in touchdowns, passing yardage, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the question is, and by the way, man, when we look at this dude, he's doing some amazing freaking stuff. Yeah, I have to, right? Because he hasn't given enough from the Jets. Woo! In the basket. No, but a lot of people say that Aaron Rodgers, the greatest thrower of the football we've ever seen. I don't know if that's the case. I will always say that John Elway could be right up there. And if we're real, Lamar Jackson, I believe, is right up there as well. His ability to throw on the move is crazy. But I think Aaron Rodgers is right there in terms of arm talent, accuracy on the move. Like, look at this right here. Crazy. Like, look at that. I don't know how he's able to, of course, he does have good receivers, but he's really able to place that thing just in the perfect spot more often than not. Look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah. Get that out of here. Come on. Tell me you got the sideline toe drag. You don't got the sideline toe drag?
I don't think I put it in there. I put it in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I should have. The one in Dallas, right?
Yep. Dallas toe drag. I think Jared Cook was the tight end.
Yep. I can hear Skip Bayless screaming about it now. But anyway, no.
Offside. Free play.
That particular play right there, did you see the torque he got on his upper body when he let that thing go?
Yeah,
like that.
I've witnessed it for 15 years.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, Transformer. I'm sorry. Many people say that this guy, Aaron Rodgers, greatest thrower of football we've ever seen. But the question more so is, was his career a disappointment? He only got one Super Bowl. He didn't even make it to two. And there's a lot of dudes that most people would say at the quarterback position who aren't as good as him that made it to two or more, right? Jim Kelly made it to what, four straight,
lost all four, but couldn't continue.
Right. No doubt. But I mean, yes, he lost all four. Oof, it's rough. Eli Manning made it to two. And if I'm not mistaken, did he beat Aaron Rodgers in both of those?
He beat Aaron Rodgers the first time. I don't think we played him the second time.
Okay. I thought he played in that second run. But anyway, the point is, so you look at this and you say there's guys that are not as good as him who have been to, more Super Bowls than him and have won more Super Bowls than him. A lot of people would say that he's better than John Elway. I don't know if I go that far. I think if John Elway played today, he would look just like Aaron Rodgers in terms of the mobility, the arm talent, all that stuff. But you look at it and we get back to the original question, and I will really let you kind of get into this, man. Was his career a disappointment?
Is that the question?
That's the question.
No, it wasn't.
Talk to me.
Everybody, the onus goes on the quarterback. Why? Highest paid player. You got the ball in your hands all the time. You make decisions, but sometimes it takes two sides of the football game, right? It was a lot of those playoff series, and I remember them time and time after again. San Francisco, Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Falcons, the Seattle Seahawks, the New York Giants. What beat us is that we couldn't defend anybody. We had some porous defenses a lot of the times that Aaron Rodgers was able to play and make those MVPs, and he was always asked to score 30-plus points. We're getting blown out 42-17. We're getting blown out 42-25 or whatever the case may be. But I say that all to say it takes two sides for us to win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. If you take the Super Bowls out of the equation, you look at his career, you're like, okay, an amazing 4-time MVP. I believe he's second best now. I believe Pat has it at the moment. Best touchdown to interception ratio ever, right? He was one of the most accurate throwers of the football ever. People compared him a lot to Brett Favre, but you look at the interceptions from one category to the other one, Brett Favre literally threw twice as many with the same amount of touchdowns, right? So you look at him as like, oh my God, he took, great care of the football. His career itself shouldn't be considered a disappointment. Do you have to win multiple Super Bowls for your career to be extravagant? No. Win one. Get there once, right? Is Drew Brees' career a disappointment, right? Peyton Manning truly only won one when he was in his prime. Second, when he got carried. Literally got carried. The man was literally just walking out there, just don't turn the ball over, we'll win the football game. So Peyton Manning truly has one, right? That he led his entire franchise as Peyton Manning.
He's been to four.
He's been to four.
Right.
So do we count all of a sudden? Do we now count how many times you've been there, or we count how many times you won?
No, because I wouldn't do it for the other guy.
Okay.
In the sport. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite here. However, I will say this. I mean, he is technically 50% in the Super Bowl, so I can kind of,
Okay.
Right.
MVP of how many?
5. Oh, of the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Yeah. One. Okay. Aaron Rodgers got one.
Time regular season MVP.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers got one. Four regular season. Super Bowl MVP. I mean, Super Bowl MVPs. So to me, no, man. Even though I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, did I want him to reach a Super Bowl more? Absolutely. Right. The man is as talented as the man was. The amount of receivers, the Jordy Nelsons, the Donald Drivers, the Greg Jennings, the Devontae Adams, the Randall Cobbs, all those guys that we had at receiver, let alone we never drafted a first-round talent in his entire career to help him on the offensive side of the football. So GM itself didn't put him in position to get those top-tier guys. We have to homegrown and groom our top-tier guys to even make it, to be, placed alongside them. A lot of times, you just look at our defense. Our defense is after Clay Matthews, what's my guy named Hawks. Once those guys declined and those guys started leaving, we never truly bolstered the defensive presence after Charles Woodson's and those guys. We never made that big splash in free agency to get those type of guys to give him more opportunities when it became playoff time. We was very, very one-dimensional. As you see a lot of times, and Aaron Rodgers later on in his career, he depended on Devontae Adams 80% of the time, which pissed me off a lot. Like there's other guys.
All right.
It worked out until the playoffs. So in the playoffs, people scheme up differently. Like, hey, we're doubling him all night. You're going to have to beat us somewhere else. And Aaron Rodgers is like, well, I'm still going to throw it to 17. He up there somewhere, and I'm going to throw it down there. And they put us in a lot of games where it was a lot of trouble, where we, of course, didn't get the victory, but made it to quite a few NFC championships. Yes, he didn't get over the hump, but he got him a Super Bowl. I'm not going to call his career. Yeah, I don't do that to Dan Marino. Dan Marino is an all-time great.
Was disappointing, though. And I think Dan Marino's career was disappointing. And I believe that everyone would agree with that. Like, for how great he was, he should have at least had one, right? He went to one. He lost to Joe Montana. Never got back.
So it wouldn't be a disappointment if Dan Marino had one?
No.
Is Drew Brees a disappointment then?
He would have at least been to two. You know what I'm saying?
Is Drew's a disappointment?
No. And the reason that I put, so let me make an analogy here, right? Y'all know I get on Lamar Jackson a lot, right?
Yeah.
The reason why is because of what do we always talk about? That level of greatness, right?
Multiple time MVPs.
Yeah, it's not just the MVP, but we see how great he is with our own eyes, not just the awards on paper, right? Everybody knows how great he is. That's why the expectation is where it is, right? And so with a guy like Aaron Rodgers at his peak, he was one of the best to ever do it, like without question. I'm not going to argue that. So you would expect more. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. You would expect more when somebody's that great. And so I think you're looking at, like we said, 4-time MVP, dude having just absurd season, 45 touchdowns, 6 picks, something crazy like that.
Don't get me started.
Almost 5,000 passing yards, just literally carrying, pretty much carrying the team, right? Because
you're right. You're not wrong.
The team was that bad, but because he was that good, right?
He kept us afloat all them years.
Yeah, and this is why I say, like, it was a disappointment because I think he should have had more. I do. Yeah,
but you also look at the weapons, right? You look at the Joe Burrows, you look at the Travis Kelce's, the Patrick Mahomes. You look at the big tier weapons. But Joe Burrow got what? Jamar Chase, those guys who are definitely going to be, future Hall of Famers in their own right. Top tier guys. Those teams draft in the first round guys to put on the offensive side of the ball to where it takes that pressure off of Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay never did that. Never. We had to groom when a lot of people don't know when Devontae Adams first got in the league, they was calling him to be cut. We had to grow him. Yeah, and then he became Devontae Adams.
So I think he went to Fresno State. So
Fresno State, he was with Derek Carr. He was at Fresno State with Derek Carr. And he got into his first 2 seasons dropping everything that came his way. Right? Dropping everything that came his way. But it took Aaron Rodgers to get on par with him and to become who he was. Jordy Nelson wasn't that big of a name when he came out of college. Jordy Nelson became one of the top 5 receivers in the league, multiple years running until he tore his ACL in the preseason game. Right. So, you look at that and you're like, dang it, if Green Bay's front office was to give this man some chances with some top tier talent in the first round, maybe things would have turned out a little bit differently for the offensive side of the ball. Or maybe if we would have, because Green Bay isn't known for splashing in free agent. We were very homegrown oriented football team. We rarely go out there and get top tier talent. The Reggie Whites, the like I mentioned earlier, the Charles Woodsons from Oakland. We don't. When we made those, we got a Super Bowl. The proof is in the pudding.
Right.
We stopped doing all that. We got your second, third tier guys in free agency just to fit the pieces, but we growing everything else. So I would say it's a mix between, Aaron Rodgers had the talent, but Green Bay wasn't overwhelming him like, hey, we're putting these guys here because we know we're right there, right? We know we're right here. Let's go out and make these big splashes. What they did for CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had a good rookie season. What did they go do? Oh, we're finna go get a running back. We're finna go get a receiver. We're gonna put the weapons in front of him because we want to see this team get to the promised land, win a Super Bowl. That was never done for Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not gonna put that on his shoulders and say his career was a disappointment because his career wasn't set up to be more than what he made it out to be. Because there was a lot of seasons where I go into the offseason, I'm like, Green Bay is gonna win 12 games, but we're gonna lose in the second, third round because Aaron Rodgers can be great. He can't be great on defense. Defensively, we couldn't stop the run. San Fran came in there, ran 225 yards on the defense. Aaron Rodgers can't do anything about that, right? When we played the Falcons, Aaron Rodgers, I believe he was second in MVP that season. What happened? We didn't have a corner to stop Julio Jones to save our life. We couldn't name a corner, right? We had Gunter, guy named Gunter, guarding a premier receiver in Julio Jones. What did he do? Go off for $180 and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he can't play defense. So I would say it's a mixture of both. I'm not going to say it's a disappointment because he did win a Super Bowl and he has 4 MVPs. But could he have done more? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I wouldn't call it a disappointment.
That's kind of where I am on it. And that's why I see it as a disappointment. But I hear you, that's a fair argument. But yeah, I definitely think it's a disappointment. Not as in he was a bust or had a bad career or whatever. No, he had an all-time great career and easily, first ballot. But yeah, definitely would have wanted to see more based on the ability that this guy had and the things that he did. And we were just watching, like, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy, but holy cow, like some of them throws, like absurd.
That man mixtape is going to be crazy when he retires. When they saw them throws, I'm like, dang, he was throwing it like that?
Yeah.
Man, cause he was a throw at a foot and just accurate. It was like sometimes he'll roll out to the left, and I'm like, boy, he sees something that I don't. And he's gonna thread it right there in the middle. It was a pass by Devontae Adams up the middle. I believe it was against Seattle. Don't get me to lying to you. Double covered, threw it up in the air. It went between 2 defenders. Devontae Adams was falling to the ground.
Yeah.
Right in his hands.
Right in there.
I'm like, what in the world, man?
That's God-given, man. That's God-given. So before we move on off this topic, man, here's the question for you. This is what I wanted to hit you with. Prime Aaron Rodgers, absolute peak, right? Prime Peyton Manning, absolute peak. Where you going? Yeah.
I'm a homer, man. You know what I want to say.
Okay. I mean, listen,
I'm a homer.
I'm not mad at you if you go that way. Like, that's not ridiculous.
Okay. But Peyton Manning's ability to change everything at the line was by far just incredible. Aaron Rodgers' ability to fool a defense and get a free play was incredible.
He's the best ever.
Master of the free play, master of the Hail Mary.
No question.
I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna say I'll take Aaron Rodgers. I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so if I'm saying Peyton Manning, which Peyton Manning are you thinking about? Are you thinking about Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison? I was about to say Marvin Harrison Jr., but Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, Peyton Manning with the Colts? Or are you thinking about Peyton Manning with Eric Decker?
Colts.
A man named that died.
In the Broncos?
Marius Thomas.
Yeah.
That Peyton Manning now. That Peyton Manning threw 50 touchdowns.
Yeah. Granted,
that Manning was on fire.
He was a laser, but that was just one season, though. We seen him do.
I'm just saying, peak, like
his whole career in Indianapolis. So yeah, I would definitely, the Colts. Peyton Manning is what I will always refer to. That one great season in Denver. That's more of an anomaly to me. I saw that all the time just in Indianapolis, but yeah, man, that's a tough question, bro. I mean, I'm a homer, so I'm gonna stay home. But if everybody in chat was, duh, you stupid for not putting Peyton Manning. No, I'm not stupid. I'm just a homer, but I'm not gonna argue with you.
No, I think I don't think you can really go wrong. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, kind of pick your brain on that question a little bit, because
smart brains and Peyton.
Yeah, no doubt. So you know how the YouTube algorithm. So I was looking at when I was getting the B-roll for the Aaron Rodgers film, and then of course I got some like young Peyton Manning, and I was like, damn. I think I forgot how good that guy was, and he didn't have near the mobility that Aaron Rodgers had. To me, that's what's so impressive. Like, he couldn't get out and move like that, but he could still manipulate the pocket and make those throws and just do incredible things without the quote unquote athleticism that an Aaron Rodgers has, or a Lamar Jackson has, or a Josh Allen, right? But he could still dominate, and I think that's incredible, And
that's an aspect I love to add about Aaron Rodgers, is that his athleticism made it much more difficult to predict what he had to do, because he can roll out of the pocket. Peyton Manning, he's in the pocket. He's not going anywhere, right? He's gonna shift the line. He's doing a lot of movement, a lot of audibling at that line, because he knows defense is coming from here. That linebacker's about to blitz. I need y'all to know where he's at. So guess what? Tight end, we're going to switch, and you're going to do a slant right behind that linebacker as he's coming to blitz. Ready? On two. Ready? And go.
And
Aaron Rodgers, he's like, okay, I'll see where you're coming from. Guess what? I'm about to get you off sides real fast.
Right. It's crazy. Manning, though, a lot of that stuff was dummy calls. Just freaking the defense out. A lot of dummy calls. I was like, wow, this guy. They say
he said one time, I will call 3 different plays. It was always the first one. But I knew that the linebackers were paying attention. Like, okay, he switched it up, but then I see the linebacker back up, got him. It's the same play. I didn't change anything.
Right.
We're gonna go to the same one. I'm like, hey, Peyton is probably the smartest quarterback of all time.
Right. He's right up there. He's right up there. All right, well that's cool, man. That's cool. Absolutely. Laker Nation. The great QBs make you pay for blitzing them. Absolutely. Because they know that if you're committing extra resources to the pass rush, somebody's running free, and you just got to hit them before they can get there. And the best QBs will stand in there and they'll take that hit to deliver that big throw. Absolutely.
Not Aaron finna roll out. He's finna roll out to the left. I'm like, nope, that's true. I'm rolling out. No doubt. Like, you're blitzing up the middle. Cool. I'm about to roll to the outside because now I know Randall Cobb's right there sitting in the middle. And I'm about to thread the needle every time, man. Ooh, boy. It was a joy watching them back then.
Absolutely.
Just watching them.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to leave that topic right there. That was pretty good. And we're going to open up the phone lines, y'all. If anybody wants to call in and give their thoughts on whether or not Aaron Rodgers' career was a disappointment to them, or also you can answer the question of Aaron Rodgers in his absolute peak prime or Peyton Manning in his absolute peak prime. Which one would you take? And
why?
And why, of course. And remember, if you're calling in, we're going to try to keep this thing rolling. So let's be mindful of 5 minutes tonight. All right, let's go.
Who'd you pick? Oh, that was fast, man. That was so cool.
Manning. Laker Nation, what up?
What up? Calling in to pick on Transformer.
Oh, pick on me?
You the one said 15 shows ago that football season we enemies.
That's true.
He is a 49er. This is right. Go ahead.
Nah, I ain't gonna pick on him. You gotta respect your rivals, even though we got the upper hand on them. But
every time,
you gotta respect your rivals, though. The only reason why San Francisco was so successful against Aaron Rodgers because they had the athletes out there to compensate for when they were able to keep him in the pocket more. Because our game plan was to keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket. Because we know he's more deadly when he rolls.
That's right.
When he rolls up.
Mm-hmm. When he rolls out, he's more deadly. And his receivers were trained that when he rolls, you keep running. You break off your route and you keep running.
Yep. I'm going to find you.
He's like, him and Mahomes are the two that I've seen that are best at that. Like, you keep running, they're going to find you. It don't matter where you at on the field.
Yeah.
Not too many quarterbacks had that. But I wouldn't say his career was a disappointment. I just think, like, Green Bay was spoiled. Like, don't get upset, Transformer, because you know I'm speaking the truth.
You probably are.
I just think they have too much respect for Aaron Rodgers. They figured that, well, Aaron Rodgers can do Aaron Rodgers. We don't have to spend as much money on the offense.
Correct.
On the other side of the ball. And I think that's what they did a lot of. They invested a lot of more money on their defense because I'm like, why didn't get this man another weapon? But like I said,
never drafted a first round talent. Never.
But he made Randall Cobb and Antonio Freeman he didn't have Stern Sharp. He made Antonio Freeman, Devontae Adams, and those boys
Jordy Nelson,
like
Donald
Pro
Driver,
Bowl receivers, every single one of them.
Greg Jennings.
Hoodie Jennings was crazy work.
Yeah, he was nice.
He made Randall Cobb
nice.
look so good.
Mm-hmm.
He went out and got a bag
Mm-hmm.
off of Aaron Rodgers' work, and then ended up coming back. So
Jordy Nelson got paid off Aaron Rodgers too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae got a stupid check.
Mm-hmm. A lot of dudes did.
Rodgers.
That's right.
It is. I wish he never went to the Jets, man. They ruined his career.
Y'all should have traded for him.
That's why I wish he would have never did. But you brought up Peyton Manning, man. In my opinion, besides Smoking Joe, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning. The reason why I say that is even when he had his limitations,
mm-hmm.
he still struck fear in his opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Damarino was like that. They couldn't move, but they still struck fear in their opposition. Like Transformer said, he was one of the smartest quarterbacks I've ever seen. You couldn't fool him. Like even you did say that, Transformer.
Yep, you can't fool him. He'll fool you. He'll fool you.
That's why
he will call 4 different plays when he never really changed the first one.
Yeah.
He'll call 4 different ones.
I'm trying to think who was Spags with when it was that playoff game where he was just like, and that's when it started when him just blitzing more people than you can block. He was just like, screw it. Who was he with? I can't remember.
What coach or receiver?
Because of that game, Spags been known as a blitzing as the blitzer. I'm trying to think what team was. Can't remember. I don't think it was the Giants.
It wasn't the Giants. He got a lot of pressure with the front four with the Giants, so he didn't need to blitz a lot.
No, it was somebody with he knocked out Peyton Manning out the playoffs with just blitzing him. And the last 5 minutes of the game, and then he got known for just sending more guys than you can block. That's all he did. He was like, you know what? I'm not going to try to out-scheme you, Peyton. I'm just going to blitz the shit out of you.
Yeah. And that's when everything started being a lot quicker for him. A lot of quick snaps, getting the ball out of my hands real quick, a lot of tight ends sitting right behind the linebackers because he knew the linebacker was coming. So he's like, I know the linebacker coming, so that tight end's finna sit right there, and I'm going to get an easy 5, 6, 7 yards, and I'm going to do it over and over and over again until we get in the end zone. Y'all going to stop blitzing. Y'all going to stop blitzing. That's for sure.
He blitzed shit out of him that day. But I'm going to tell you my 5 critiques of what I consider a top-tier quarterback, and then you guys can discuss who fits that criteria. Well, number one, I already mentioned it. Like, they can take a mediocre receiver and make him look like a Pro Bowler. 2, they know their hot routes. They make you pay for blitzing them. 3, they don't need a running game to be successful. Their short passing game could be their running game.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, they're never rattled. They could be down by 15 touchdowns and they still have the confidence that we're going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And 5, you game plan them to play them in the off season before you don't wait till the week that you play them. You game plan them in the off season. You draft players because you know, I gotta play this guy in my division.
Mm-hmm.
To beat him, I need to draft this edge rusher right here.
So you just named 3 quarterbacks.
He got a high IQ because I know I got a game plan for this season. Those are my 5 critiques of what makes an elite quarterback.
No doubt.
Well, not an elite quarterback, a top tier quarterback. That's a different realm than elite.
Yeah.
No,
cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop, the one. So, who do y'all think fits that? Can y'all name at least 2 quarterbacks that's in the league right now that fits that bill?
Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow,
Lamar Jackson. That's yeah.
I knew you was going to say Lamar Jackson.
Well, the biggest one is because
do you feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers is game planning for him in the offseason?
Everyone is, absolutely. He's a nightmare.
Well, this year they game plan for Derrick Henry and they failed. They messed that up.
Well, that too. but yo, Laker Nation, we gotta run, man. We gotta keep it rolling.
I know you was gonna kick me off, but that's all right though.
We gave you 7 minutes. We gave you 7.
It's all good. You'll be back. We got your topic coming up, man.
Hey, Laker Nation, we gave you an extra couple of minutes because you're a member, brother.
Hey, we're gonna double team. We got double team them transfers.
Pause. Whoa!
I'm gonna let
damn
him.
gutter, bro. I'm gonna get off this phone because he over here diddling right now. I'm getting off.
Catch you later, Laker Nation, man. Catch you later, bro.
We'll hear you on the next one. That was terrible. Whoa, what are we doing?
Man, we gonna double team him later.
Whoa.
Who was we?
Whole voice changed and everything. What is that?
We're gonna double team him later.
No, you're not.
You're on that, bro. No, man, we love you, Laker Nation. We love you, Laker Nation.
No doubt. All right.
Now, I thought he meant like in history. I was thinking history. I was gonna say Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana. I mean, that was before my time. That wasn't my era of watching football.
I got you.
But now Pat will be number one. You put Pat
clearly.
In any situation, he's going. That man lost number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver, number 1, number 2 running back. Somehow the man's still in the Super Bowl, man.
Crazy.